I'm going to bring our audience some breaking news, which is just coming into us here at Newsnight. We're hearing reports that a former member of One Direction, Liam Payne, has died after falling from the third floor of a hotel in Buenos Aires.
Recently, Liam tragically passed away after a mysterious fall from a hotel balcony in Buenos Aires. It was such a shock because it felt like he was still that boy from One Direction who made millions of people smile. His ex-girlfriend, Danielle Peazer, who was an important part of his life, shared a heartfelt tribute that deeply touched many. What really happened that night? And how are those closest to Liam coping with this tragic loss? Watch the video till the end to know about it. The day the news broke about Liam's fall in Buenos Aires was a day no one will forget. It was so unexpected. Liam was staying in a luxury hotel in the city, and suddenly, reports came in that he had fallen from the balcony of his room. People were shocked and confused, trying to figure out how something like this could have happened. It wasn't long before rumors started swirling. Was it an accident? Was Liam intoxicated? Was there foul play involved? The mystery surrounding the fall only made the tragedy harder to process. Witnesses from the hotel said that Liam had been acting strangely in the hours leading up to the fall. Some people reported seeing him pacing around, looking distressed. Others mentioned hearing loud noises from his room.
Obtained by ABC News details this 911 call placed at 5:04 p.m. local time by the hotel manager in Spanish.
Bueno, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y alcohol y cuando está consciente está rompiendo toda la habitación.
The manager then saying he was scared for the guest's life.
Y necesitamos que nos envíen a alguien urgente porque, bueno, yo no sé si corre riesgo la vida del huésped. Está en una habitación que tiene balcón y, bueno, estamos un poco con temor de que haga algo que le ponga en riesgo su vida.
¿Hace cuánto que está ahí o es un hotel de vivienda?
No, es hace 2 o 3 días que está acá.
What made things even more suspicious was the discovery of some unusual items in his hotel room, including white powder and burnt aluminum foil. These items led to speculation that drugs might have been involved, but nothing has been confirmed yet.
Good morning to you, Rebecca. As Liam Payne's fans, former bandmates, and of course his family grieve his loss, this morning we are getting a glimpse at what authorities in Argentina believe contributed to his death. Sources tell ABC News multiple substances were found in Payne's system, including pink cocaine, a popular but potentially dangerous party drug, cocaine, benzodiazepine, and crack. An improvised aluminum pipe to ingest was also found in his hotel room. His body will remain in Argentina until the autopsy is complete.
The police launched an investigation, but answers were hard to come by. There were no security cameras on the balcony, and the few people who were around didn't see exactly what happened. All they knew was that Liam had fallen, and by the time help arrived, it was too late. The lack of clear information has left a lot of fans and media outlets speculating about whether it was just a terrible accident, or if something more sinister was at play. As with any high-profile death, the media wasted no time in speculating about what had happened. From the moment news broke about Liam Payne's fall from the hotel balcony, questions were being asked about how it could have happened. As the media dug deeper, more details about Liam's personal struggles came to light. Stories about his battle with alcoholism, his mental health issues, and the pressures of fame were all brought back into focus. Liam Payne had been dealing with a lot over the years. He opened up about some of his struggles, especially with mental health and the pressure of being famous. Even as a kid, Liam had to deal with some pretty serious health issues. When he was born, doctors discovered that one of his kidneys wasn't working properly, which meant he had to go through a lot of medical treatments and testing when he was little.
He did. I don't think they're related, but you know, in his book, he talked a lot about his childhood history, his medical history. He says he was born premature, and then he had a lot of doctor's visits for the first 4 years of his life, and he actually talks about how he functionally only had one kidney.
It's hard to imagine going through that as a kid, but Liam was a fighter from the start. He even said that because of his kidney issues, he had to get 32 injections in his arm every morning and evening just to keep his body functioning. That's no small thing for a young boy to deal with, and it shows how tough he was even from an early age. As he grew older, Liam's kidney health improved, and he eventually announced that his kidney had healed. But the struggles he faced as a kid stayed with him. He often spoke about how these experiences made him stronger and more determined to succeed. It's kind of wild to think about, but those early health battles actually shaped who he became later in life. Later on, as he became more famous, Liam's health struggles took a different turn. Being in the spotlight 24/7, dealing with pressure from fans and the media, and trying to keep up with the demands of fame began to wear on him. When it comes to Liam Payne's personal life, it was definitely one of the most talked about things in the media. From his relationships to his role as a father, people were always curious about what was going on behind the scenes. Liam's first major public relationship was with Danielle Peazer, a dancer he met on The X Factor. They dated on and off for a few years, and fans were totally invested in their relationship. A lot of people loved them together, and their breakup hit fans hard. After One Direction went on hiatus in 2016, each member had to figure out what their next steps would be. For Liam, it meant diving into a solo career, which honestly wasn't the easiest transition. When you've been part of a band as huge as One Direction, people expect a lot from you, and there's always the pressure of whether or not you can make it on your own. Liam stepped up to the challenge, and his first solo single, Strip That Down, dropped in 2017. The song was catchy, and had a different vibe from his One Direction days. It was more mature, showing off a side of Liam that fans hadn't really seen before. Strip That Down was a hit, reaching the top 10 in multiple countries, and it marked a new chapter in Liam's music career. He wasn't just the boy band member anymore. He was his own artist. Collaborating with big names like Ed Sheeran and Quavo gave him even more credibility as a solo artist, and it was clear that he was carving out his own path. His solo album, LP1, came out in 2019, and it had a mix of pop, R&B, and even some hip-hop influences. While not every song hit the same level of success as Strip That Down, Liam showed that he was capable of more than just the sound he had with One Direction. But being a solo artist is hard, especially after the massive fame of One Direction. Liam was navigating this new phase while also dealing with the pressure of maintaining his fame. He admitted that the transition wasn't easy and that the expectations were intense. It's also worth mentioning that Liam's solo work didn't get the same level of praise that some of his bandmates' projects did. Harry Styles and Niall Horan found more critical and commercial success, while Liam's journey was more up and down. Still, he kept pushing forward, releasing music, and staying connected with his fans through social media and personal projects. In interviews and on social media, Liam opened up about his battles with anxiety and depression. He revealed that, at his lowest points, he turned to alcohol to cope with the stress and pressure of being in the public eye.
You know, this is really, really sad, and a lot of people are wondering what happened, and of course we don't want to speculate, but he's been really open about his mental health struggles in the past.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, the fact that his body was found with a lot of those substances around him, but as a physician, I really want to see the toxicology report, I think, on the autopsy before we know exactly what happened.
At one point, he even admitted that there were days where he drank so much that he didn't recognize himself. It's heartbreaking to hear that someone who brought so much joy to others was dealing with so much pain himself. But Liam was always honest about these struggles, and that honesty helped a lot of his fans who were going through similar things.
And went and visited Russell Brand, actually, which was quite amazing. We went down to a meeting together and spoke about different things. It was just quite nice. You know, I think for anybody out there who is having a problem with mental health or something, and that struggle it is, but the best thing is to just go and speak to someone. 'Cause if you go through it by yourself, you're your own soundboard, and we're all just as crazy as the next person. So it's like you need someone to validate your experience almost.
In 2023, Liam made a big step by sharing a YouTube video where he talked about his journey to sobriety and how he was working on his mental health. It was a vulnerable moment, but it also showed how much he had grown. He was no longer hiding his struggles. He was confronting them head-on and trying to make things better for himself. He talked about the importance of therapy, leaning on friends and family, and learning to take care of his mental health. When news of Liam Payne's death hit social media, it was like a shockwave across the world. Fans everywhere were devastated, and the outpouring of grief was immediate. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with messages, tributes, and fan-made videos celebrating Liam's life and career. For so many people, especially those who had followed him since his One Direction days, it felt like losing a friend.
For now, we will take some time to grieve and process the loss of our brother, who we love dearly. Overnight, crowds gathering outside the hotel, singing his songs in mourning.
I can't explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm shaking.
Outside the hotel in Buenos Aires where Liam fell, fans gathered to pay their respects. People brought flowers, candles, and even handwritten letters to leave as tributes. It was an emotional scene, with fans singing some of Liam's most famous songs in a heartbreaking show of unity. You could feel the love and sadness in the air as fans from all walks of life came together to mourn someone who had meant so much to them. Online, the tributes kept pouring in. People shared their favorite memories of Liam, from the first time they saw him on The X Factor to the countless concerts they attended. Some fans even shared personal stories about how Liam's music had helped them through tough times, whether it was during a bad breakup or a period of anxiety. When Liam Payne's former bandmates from One Direction heard the news, their reactions were as emotional as you'd expect. The 5 members of One Direction had been through so much together: global tours, endless media attention, and the highs and lows of being in one of the biggest boy bands of all time. Even though the band had gone their separate ways, it was clear that they still shared a deep bond, and Liam's death hit them hard. Harry Styles was one of the first to post a tribute on social media. In a heartfelt Instagram post, he shared a simple black and white photo of the two of them from their One Direction days with the caption, "You'll always be in my heart, mate. Rest easy, Liam." It was a short message, but the emotion behind it was clear. Fans knew how much Harry and Liam had supported each other throughout their years in the band. It's incredibly sad to think that someone who meant so much to her is no longer here, and her message really resonated with fans who had watched their relationship grow over the years. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.